It was 100 years ago this week. After raining for several days, several levees broke, sending the waters of the Miami River rushing down to downtown Dayton. And so I'm here this morning with Jeff Williams, and just released a book in February called Washed Away. This is about the Great Flood of 1913. And so, as we even watch this snowstorm, that we had, just yesterday with the snow, we're seeing extreme weather. So this is definitely relatable to seeing like these extreme natural disasters. But what inspired you to write this book, Washed Away?
Well, a lot of things. I grew up in Middletown, so I heard about it periodically. I'd read the newspaper, anniversary stories over the years. And I was looking for, frankly, a topic to write about. My agent kept saying, well, maybe there's something local, that you could write about. And to be honest, at first I kind of was bored by it. When I thought of the flood, I thought,
right.
Flood, water comes in, it stays there for a while, leaves, how interesting can it be? But I started researching it, and the more I researched, I was stunned. It's like a disaster movie before disaster movies existed.
Exactly.
And
it was
this
terrible. Book is available in bookstores, also Amazon.com. Already getting some really great reviews from readers, and someone says that gave you 5 stars, saying that you put a lot of research into it, and it really paid off, and they really have an understanding of the magnitude of this disaster. And even you have some pictures in here as well. And so you said that you had a family member, I guess, who was also involved in this flood.
Yeah, I've nothing like some of the stories in the book. No family members on roofs or anything like that, fearing for their lives. But I had a great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother who took a photo of where the flood. She was in Kentucky, Mentor, Kentucky, and took a photo of a house that was in the flood. And it was like 2 or 3 miles from the actual Ohio River. It was this incredible distance.
We do have a few pictures. Let's just, show one and kind of walk us through, how you could tell us about this one right here.
Well, that looks like it was in Dayton, and Dayton, it got to be like 20 feet deep in the city. Dayton was sort of ground zero for this flood, which affected like at least 14 states.
Right. And just the personal accounts, getting those people, how difficult was that doing the research and talking to the people who this really changed their lives?
Well, the research was a lot of fun. I could have worked on this for 20 years and kept wishing I could, but knew that we wanted to get this out, for the 100-year anniversary. But the stories are amazing. You had people for like 3 days sitting on rooftops, waiting and praying and hoping that they'd be rescued, that a boat, would come by, and often they'd be, they were rained on, snowed on. I can't even fathom. And then, in Dayton especially, there were explosions, natural gas lines and hardware stores with paint and chemicals, and they'd blow up. And so you had people, who were like, first, they're worried about drowning, and then they're like, well, maybe we're going to burn to death.
Oh,
so,
terrifying.
It really was.
And took you about 2 years to put this together, right?
Yeah, I worked on it for at least a year or two with the book proposal, and then another year to, actually write it, and was writing like mad to, get this done. And
So what do you hope that readers walk away after reading this?
I hope they, if nothing else, just remember this flood. I think it deserves to be remembered in the same way that Titanic, that was, and the San Francisco earthquake. This displaced hundreds of thousands of people, left homeless, killed at least over 1,000 people. We'll never know exactly how many people were killed. A lot of bodies were washed away. There was one guy in Middletown, his body wasn't found for another 20 years. This was a huge tragedy that's really been forgotten. Definitely
a fascinating read, and still very relevant today as we do continue to see the tornadoes and the floods and just these natural disasters. But the book, again, is available at all of your bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, so be sure to check it out.